What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Ria and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Friday. Happy Funky Friday, everybody. What's up? How you doing?
Happy Friday.
Happy freaking Friday.
We're sitting in our furs.
Yeah, what the fuck is up?
This one isn't really. This is like a fuzzy coat, you know?
Yeah, fake fur. Faux fur.
Yeah, of course.
Faux fur.
Always. But I mean, this, I don't even know what.
Yeah,
what
the
call
fuck's
this.
your problem?
But it's cold in here. It's cold in the studio.
Yeah.
But.
Burr. Sorry, I'll get out of this mob wife persona.
I don't think you should.
I wish I had a cigarette right now. Ooh. You know what I'm gonna start doing? I have a pack of Italian cigarettes in my apartment that I have yet to touch. I think I got them from John Feidelberg.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
When he went to Italy, I think it was last year, whatever. I don't know why I have them.
Did he bring them back for you?
No, he didn't bring them back specifically for me. I don't know how they ended up in my possession.
Yeah.
He might have been walking around the office and he said they have them and I said, oh, like, whatever. I do not remember how, but I know that I have them in my apartment. Okay. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I think I should start bringing them in here as props for me and you. You know? No? Just like on a Friday like this, you know, when we're just we got our coffee and a cigarette and we're just talking.
I'm just like the president of Dare. Like I just.
You've never smoked.
Even if I've never smoked a cigarette.
I'm not asking you to smoke the cigarette.
No, I know, but like then I feel like a fraud. Like I'm talking with a cigarette in my hand. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Right, well, it's just
I'm a fraud.
Yeah, well, you could be a fraud. We're doing a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not asking you to seriously sit here and smoke a cigarette.
Well, no, I didn't think you were asking me to do that, but I'm saying,
God heavens, no.
As far as the the act, I think I would just look silly. Like like there's some people who look natural with a cigarette in their hands, and like they can flawlessly talk and like have the cigarette and like look cool. I think I would look the opposite.
You think so?
Like I think I'd be like.
I think
people would be like, ooh, Fran looks like oh no, she looks awkward holding.
I think you would
cigarette.
look super chic.
No.
Yeah, I think you would look chic doing it. Well, anyways, I'll just pretend.
You know what I'm saying? I don't
time.
even know how to hold a cigarette.
Oh, well, honey.
Yeah,
we can
that's
teach you.
But that's what I'm saying. I think I would just look like
It's not
I
rocket
would
science,
look like
though.
a fraud. No, but then it's like then there's.
I think like
you know what I'm saying. There's
I think
a
you're
natural.
thinking too much about this.
Yeah.
There's a
I don't even have them
natural
here.
way.
I think you figure it out. Like I think if we put it in your hand,
I think it's
you'd
like
be
riding the bike.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like riding a bike because I've never ridden. I don't know how to ride.
I know. As soon as I said that, I was like, no, it's not. That's the opposite of riding a bike.
I don't know how to ride. But I understand the sentiment that you're saying.
Just like
a couple of broads
chatting, like morning coffee, kind of like my mom and my aunt when they get on FaceTime and my mom's having her morning cigarette.
It would be like one episode a month you guys smoke cigs during the episode.
Yeah, and we just fucking puff up the joint.
Yeah.
Me and Noah, you can have one too.
I'll
bring them in here. Okay, because listen.
Sounds like my worst nightmare. Think about how bad the studio
would smell disgusting.
Ugh.
I actually talked about this. I was talking about this with Kelly Keys yesterday or the day before. I was like, you know what? Someone was. I went to go get my hair blown out, and the guy at the front desk, I like wiped my mouth when I like buzzed in, and there's a camera, and I got upstairs, and he goes, "Do you vape?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, I thought I saw you hit your vape when you walked in." And I was like, "Oh no, I just like wiped my mouth." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I thought to myself, Ria doesn't vape." There was like this whole conversation, and I was like, "No, I don't vape." And then I came here and I was talking to Kelly, and she doesn't vape anymore, but she was like, I'm craving a vape. And I was like, damn, you know what? I'm craving a vape, but I don't vape. Like it was just like when you start talking about it, you kind of want to do the act.
Just thinking about it.
And I was like, it's shocking that my brother, sister, and I never smoked cigarettes because we had two parents that smoke cigarettes. And my dad doesn't smoke cigarettes anymore. He has a Juul. He has for years, Julia. And my mom, she still smokes cigarettes. But the worst thing about growing up with parents who smoked was the smell that would get on your clothes sometimes, or like my backpack. And I would go to this we had music class in school, and it was like, I don't know, every other day or whatever. It doesn't matter. It was like 8th period, and my music teacher, he would step into my area where I was sitting, and he'd be like, somebody in this class is stepping outside and having cigarettes before they come into this class. And like everyone was like, no, we're not. And I in my head would be like, is it fucking me?
Yeah.
Is it my backpack that smells like cigarettes because of my parents? And I would go home and I would be like, my backpack smells. And I would like throw a fit about the cigarette smoke. Like I was such an angry elf about the cigarette smoke in my house. So that's why I never smoked cigarettes. You know, I've tried them before, but I hate the smell.
Yeah, the only really one of my grandpa was a cigarette smoker.
Yeah.
And anytime we would go down to their house, like I was the kid that would like walk in the door and be like and like cough up a lung immediately.
Yeah.
And just be like, God, it smells terrible in here. Like just really make a scene about it, you know?
It's the worst
And my grandpa
smell.
would be like this.
Yeah, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No, it's the worst fucking smell. And I would literally wake up angry in the morning before school if I smelled it, like, because my bedroom, I don't know how to describe it, but I could, if my mom was smoking outside, it was almost like the cigarette smoke traveled up to my bedroom window and
Just
went and
straight
came
to your
into my
window.
room. Like,
God,
that's
it would
how it
stick
felt.
to everything in this studio.
Yeah, it
the
would.
Rug,
So,
yeah.
have you ever been in a bar that's like a cigarette bar?
Yeah.
And it just sticks to your hair,
Yeah,
and
it's
your
everywhere.
clothes, and it just gets everywhere.
An old like hotel in Vegas or something,
Right,
where
Atlantic
it's
City.
like they can like the rooms still smell like cigarettes because people like they just can't get rid of the smell.
They have the smoking room.
Like now they say you can't
Yeah,
smoke in
yeah.
the hotels, but they let them before, and the smell's still there.
Yeah, it would absolutely stink.
No, it'd be terrible.
We would never light them up in here, but maybe just as props when we're wearing our. It's because we're both wearing
Yeah.
these fur coats right now.
I think it's the outfits for sure. Some context. We've been dressed up this week.
I'm not dressed up.
Well,
right now.
the coat is you're in a.
This is my dressed up part.
Yeah,
is my coat.
you're in a coat. But we've had so many fun things this week, and this afternoon we're going to film a bunch of social content with some of the cast of The Traitors.
Yes, we
So
are.
look out for that. That's going to be in all the Chicks in the Office social accounts, which is going to be really fun. We had another interview today that we recorded today that will be out on Monday with Noah Centineo, which
Super exciting.
was great.
Such a good interview.
Yes. Love his vibe.
Love his vibe.
Love
Noah
his vibe.
Ives is jealous of Noah Centineo's vibe.
Believe me, Noah Ives wishes he had half the aura that Noah Centineo
Let me
has.
tell you,
I don't know
the
why everyone's saying
jealousy.
this. I think he's a cool guy.
The jealousy
we
that
bonded
was
over our
seeping-
name.
The jealousy that was seeping out of Noah Ives' pores after Noah Centineo left was insane. Like
not
and
at
the
all,
whole
not at all.
The whole office is talking about it. It's not just like a me.
I
it's
didn't
not
say
just,
anything to anyone. How are they
Yeah.
talking about it?
It's not just like a me and Fran thing that we picked up on. It's an office-wide
How?
rumor that's going on.
I haven't left the studio.
You have told other people. Maybe you texted.
Oh man. Well,
They heard
Damn.
about it.
well. Anyways, but it's been a great week.
I have nothing against Noah Centineo. Let me just put that out there.
No, that was fantastic. We had a great interview. Be out on Monday, and Austen Kroll is on today's episode, which is it's going to be great as well. A lot of Southern charm, inside scoop, everything that's going on with him and Craig. We're just trying to mediate at this point. Like we're just trying to bring our two pals back together, Craig and Austen. Come on, guys.
Work it out on the remix.
Work it out.
Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Like we really listen. We love them both, and you can have your opinions about them on reality TV or whatever it is. But they are two great guys, and
And we're just here to listen and see both sides. And
sure.
I feel like hopefully Craig comes in the next few weeks. I know that
I hope so.
He was maybe planning on it, or it'd be great if he did, and we'd love to talk to him too.
would love to talk to Craig. Craig, he did text us recently that he wanted to come on.
Yeah.
And but
I know. I think he's going to be in New York next week.
right,
but
we're not here. But the thing is, I hope Craig doesn't see this with Austen and go, ugh.
We picked sides.
Yeah, right. And it's the amount of times that we said like, no, we want you guys both to be okay.
Hey, look, Austen was just available first. Look, we gotta sell our show,
tell you,
honey.
And Austen was sucking up to us because he invited us to watch him at Watch What Happens Live. Like people are trying to buy sides right now. You know what I mean? And we're up for grabs.
Oh man.
So
no, but that was great. And honestly, we love Austen. It was so kind of him to invite us to
So nice.
Watch What Happens Live, because that was the gateway to us being bartenders again, which we had a great time.
Great time bartending.
We did the finger guns. We didn't really have to speak at all.
No, that was nice.
They were not prepared for us. You know, it was
No.
actually supposed to be Trisha Paytas.
Yes, and she backed out last second,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they weren't prepped for us. That's fine. I actually
Totally fine.
preferred that, so
Yeah.
it's like no questions thrown our way.
Right. And it was like the 10 p.m. live show. At that point, we were like, our brains weren't working.
Fried.
You
We
know?
were here all day.
I don't even know what we would have said if we were asked. Like, even about the traitors, I think I would have just been like, Dylan Efron.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love Dylan Efron.
Yeah.
Beep, bop, boop, bop, traitors,
Yeah,
you know?
yep.
I will say I fucking hated my outfit. I really did. And it's like a sensitive subject.
Yeah, it really, it stuck with you.
It stuck with me because we talked about this. Well, actually, you just read a hilarious comment on our
We actually
page.
should have stayed in the outfits we were in.
Yeah, Fran just read a comment that was like, you guys should have stayed.
She said, I personally would have stayed in what you were
and
wearing
you know
to
what?
work.
That's perfectly
So fine.
So fine, because I almost sort of agree that I should have just
Look,
stayed
I
in the
liked
black
both
jean
outfits,
jeans.
so.
I ran to Aritzia, got a blazer and a belt. We didn't have time to go home and change. Didn't have time to freshen up makeup. I didn't know what was going on. I walked into Zara. I fucking hated everything, and then went into Aritzia. I was like, fine, just give me a blazer and a belt. And then I asked multiple different people if I should take the tag off the blazer. People told me no, so I didn't take the tag off the blazer. Now I'm getting, I'm a stylist. You should have taken the tag off the blazer. And I'm like, god damn it, just a train wreck.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, and we move
is.
along, we chug
did.
along.
We had so much fun.
and we bounce back from it. And it doesn't not matter
Yeah.
about the outfit; it matters about the fun that we had along the way and the
Exactly.
experiences we had.
We said, guys, invite us back anytime you
please.
want.
And sometimes you're gonna wear an outfit that you just don't like in the moment and afterwards.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, trust me, I did not like that outfit when I had it on.
Yeah.
So that's the deal, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You just gotta make do with what you got.
what you got going on, and that's
100%.
fine.
Like, I wish I had could have run my hair through my blow dryer one more time. Just
Right.
it
And
is what it is.
We all want what we can't have.
It is what it is. But it was fun.
It was great.
To be there and do that again.
So much fun.
And I'm excited to meet the people that we're talking to on Traders. Half like we know, I would say. Actually,
No,
not
we
half.
don't know
one,
any of them.
We know Nikki.
Yeah.
And then the rest
We don't
never
know
met.
any of them. Yeah.
I'm like acting like they're friend. Like
We
long
don't know
lost
them at
friends.
all.
We don't know them.
We met Bob Harper the other night because
Right,
he
correct.
was on
We
Watch
did-
What Happens
we did
Live,
meet
and he
Bob
said,
Har-
"Oh, I'll
yes.
see you guys on Thursday."
Yeah,
And we said,
exactly.
"We'll see you there, Bobby."
So very excited for that. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, then it's the weekend.
It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun,
Yeah.
and then we're off to Super Bowl week. Actually, not me, just Fran, but
Yep.
we will be rooting for her the entire week.
Thank
Boom.
you.
Can't wait.
Amazing.
Shit,
Oh,
I can't wait
wanted
to go to Florida. Sorry.
I know. I was gonna say we want to talk about the Matt and Rachel stuff
Yes.
a little bit because we listen to Call Her Daddy and everything. But I also listened to New Heights, and they had a voicemail section, and they brought on like two of their producers that everybody knows. Part of the program, kind of like their Noah sort of situation.
Right.
And
No one is like our Noah.
No, of course. Well, Noah's really like third chair. These guys, they don't jump on.
No
as
one
much.
can compete
Yeah.
with our Noah.
Yeah, no.
Besides
So-
Noah Centineo.
Yes. So the two guys, they were joking because a voicemail came in that was like, "How did you guys feel?" They got to be up in the suite for the championship game, and there's a picture posted, big group shot. They're in the picture, and the question was like, "How'd you feel like getting in a photo that's with the fuck ass filter?" And Jason and Travis were like, "What did she say?" Like, they could not, there was no computing. They had no idea what the voicemail was talking about. And the two guys were like, "Oh no, yeah, I actually just learned about this. Like, it's what they call like the way the pictures come out on Taylor's camera." And Travis was like, I'm online. I've never seen this."
Wow,
I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow,
everything.
maybe Taylor isn't aware that people call it the fuck ass filter, but I would think she would, because I feel like I see it everywhere, especially mostly on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I do see it a lot of like when the pictures were taken. I guess now we're learning it's from a specific camera, but it's just like anytime you saw a picture in that quality, it was like, oh, Taylor's around somewhere. It's like sometimes Brittany Mahomes would post pictures with the filter. Or it was her friend Ashley who posted the pictures with the filter, and you're like, oh, now we know it must just be from a camera. But it was very funny hearing them be like, I'm sorry, Travis was like, the focus filter? It's like, no, fuck ass.
The
They're
fuck
saying
ass.
fuck ass.
The fuck ass filter.
Yes, enunciate. The fuck ass
Yeah.
filter.
That's hilarious. And now they know. And
Now
I
they
bet
know.
Travis told Taylor after that. He's like,
Yeah,
people
right.
call your filter the fuck ass filter.
He just like finishes recording and sends Taylor a text. Did you know about the fuck ass filter? Question mark.
Yeah, what fuck ass filter are you
Yeah.
using, girl?
It's crazy seeing the I mean, obviously Travis knows that he's mic'd up, but seeing them actually speak and like hearing what they're saying, it feels very intimate. But you're like, she's like, I'm so proud of you. I love you. Like, it's like so sweet, but it's like,
so
oh my God.
nice. So
They're
that's
mic'd
why,
up.
Listen, like rooting for the Eagles fully, want you to get your win.
Yeah, thank you.
100%. Going full Eagles. I might even wear green that day.
That's so selfless of you.
Yeah. It's not my usual color scheme.
Yeah. You don't wear a lot of green.
I don't. I have a green shirt in my closet right now that I almost put on today. And I'm just not quite
Yeah,
there.
you're not there yet.
I'm not there,
You're
yet.
not there yet.
It's out of my
Maybe
scheme.
once it gets closer to game time.
On Super Bowl Sunday, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll actually be in Florida. Maybe I'll wear a green bee suit.
Ooh.
But I will say there would be something exciting as a non-really like football, diehard that like
Yeah.
if they won 3 times in a row, like all the talk around it would be exciting. It would just be like people would be pissed off.
Yeah.
They'd be like smashing their TV screens and shit. Like that would be just a little thrilling. But we are rooting for the Eagles. Anyways, moving on. I digress.
Yeah.
Into
Call her daddy.
Call Her Daddy, the Matt and Rachel breakup. We'll talk about it. We have a fantastic interview with Austen Kroll. Give it a listen. Juicy stuff. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And great game of trivia.
Trivia.
So let's get into it.
You guys know we love getting out to live events, whether it's a concert, a football game, or a comedy show, and we always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time. I had the best time with my sister in Philly last week. It was the NFC Championship game. Oh my God, it was a blast. Game Time came through with those last minute tickets where really you could be right in the action. If your favorite team is playing and you want to go to a game, if your favorite artist is coming to your city, you want to get those last minute concert tickets. So I've also been looking at some tickets. I know Gracie Abrams is coming to New York in a few months. I got my eye on that. All you have to do is pull up your chosen event and turn on the GT Picks as the Game Time Picks feature, which makes it even easier to get to a game, filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. So you turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of the screen or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. So what are you waiting for? It is time to buy those tickets, guys, with Game Time Picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHICKS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHICKS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time.
So Rachael Kirkconnell went on Call Her Daddy. The interview was about an hour and 40 minutes. Now these interviews are on YouTube, which is great. People can, watch live and the whole thing. And it really took her about an hour to get to the actual breakup story. There was a lot of
background.
A lot of background talking about her time on The Bachelor, learning.
All stuff that we kind of knew.
Yeah, right. Like, Matt James.
And she's talked about it before.
Yeah,
publicly.
he, didn't want to get engaged while on the show. But, talking and had been dating for 4 years, she thought that they were like on the same page. They would talk about family and kids and, eventually getting married and getting to that point. And, leading up to it, he had asked her about rings, and she said that was a green flag to her, taking that. It was a big step for him to mention that. And, he was commenting on people's, commenting back to people that would write like, when is she going to be your fiance? And he'd be like, soon. Or like, wedding food. Oh, we're having all this. So like, if I'm Rachel, I'm seeing that. I'm like, oh, maybe we're going to Tokyo. And he's, proposing in Tokyo. But ultimately, she talked about what had led to the breakup happening in Tokyo was they went out to eat, and Rachel had picked a spot. She looked for a while, and it did not live up to the hype. And she got emotional about it. And she ended up, she said one tier, 2 tier, that was it. And Matt kind of said to her, like, why are you getting upset about that? Like, whatever. And
They got into a fight about
it that night, and he basically...
The next day was weird, too.
Yeah, and he basically said that, she gets upset about things that she shouldn't be getting upset about, and if you act like this in this situation, how are you going to act like when something scary happens, which I think is such bullshit.
I hate that
And actually, who I saw talk about this on their TikTok was Isaac, I don't know how to pronounce their last name. Allison and Isaac.
Rachael.
Yeah, because she's Kutch.
Yeah.
And then he's... And he said, he made a joke about Allison and was like, when my wife was pregnant and I got her the wrong coffee order, but she burst into tears. She went into the hospital 2 weeks after she gave birth and handled it like a champ. Sometimes you...
I think that's such a cop-out question.
It's so,
if you're crying now, how are you going to handle it?
No,
if something serious happens. I may cry too, but I'll fucking handle it.
Right, and Isaac said, sometimes people handle bigger situations better than smaller situations. And I can relate to that. I'm dramatic about small little things. Sometimes I think, not that I think it's funny, but I'm like, what the hell? Whatever. And then of a big, I've had big life situations happen, family, whatever. And you handle it.
Yep.
And that doesn't, you know what I mean? Just because you're an emotional or dramatic, whatever, it doesn't mean you can't handle big life things or scary situations. That's such bullshit. I hated that. And Rachel said she was emotional. She's on her period. Matt James can't handle a girl on her period. And you know what? I'll say this. There have been times where I've seen videos of Matt James and Rachel, and I'm 100% sure I've sent it to you guys, being like, I hate the way Matt's talking to Rachel in this video. Where he'd be like, girls out there, does your girl do this? Or guys out there, does your girlfriend do this? And show things that Rachel would do, or be like, why do girls do this? And I would just be like, what? Why is he, first of all, publicizing this? And also it's just duh, do you not know how to communicate with a girl? Bizarre. But that's besides the point. That's my own things I picked up on. She talked about the breakup. And ultimately, he said that he didn't see himself marrying her and getting to that point with her. And here's the thing. That is, if you want to break up with someone because you don't see yourself with them, that is completely okay. You should then end the relationship if you don't see it getting to the point where the other person wants to be. But the way he did it.
Yeah, it's just, could have been handled more poorly.
Breaking up with her in a different country. Her getting on the flight where she has no Wi-Fi for 12 hours.
And I'm sure he knows her phone doesn't work on planes.
Yes, because they travel together all the time.
Yeah.
Posting that the same day they break up, which is insanity. In what world is anybody announcing their breakup the same day they break up? That's unheard of.
Yeah.
You let the dust settle for a second. Letting her get on the flight and knowing that she's not going to have service and all her friends and family are going to see that. She hasn't even had the chance to tell them yet. She hasn't even had the chance to let that soak in and grieve the relationship and the breakup. And you're going to do that to her? It is one of the more insane moves. I just think you have every right to end a relationship with somebody that you don't want to be with, but all of that nonsense at the breakup, bad.
Yeah, not good. And she did acknowledge that he has since said to her that he handled that poorly and shouldn't have done that. And of course it robbed her from so many things. It's robbed her from having a single second to more in the relationship in private, to talk to her family and friends on her own, and for her to be able to tell them about what happened. She had to just sit on a plane. Honestly, my heart really broke for her watching this whole interview because she seemed a little just emotionally beaten down, if that makes sense, where it just sounds like, and I think Alex danced around it all very well. I thought she, I thought Alex was very receptive to what she was saying, but was also kind of trying to push her to be I know you want to say nice things about him right now and not have it be drama or anything like that, but please, I hope you realize that this, this behavior wasn't not nice. It wasn't normal behavior for him. for you to have those thoughts. Like, just alone that it's not like for her to be getting upset about picking a wrong restaurant. Like, that doesn't come out of the blue. Like, that's something that clearly has probably happened before.
Yeah.
And like, you don't shed a tear at the table if there aren't instances in the past where like maybe she picked the wrong restaurant and he was mad and like he's like saying no it's fine, but like
you know it's
and
not really fine.
yeah, like you know it's not really fine, and she builds it up in her head, and it just seems like at the end of the day she really was trying to constantly please him. And
100%.
there's some work there for her to do, and Rachel is so sweet, and I've hearing her talk about the early days of the relationship, of like the mindset of feeling less than, like, oh my God, like I get to date him, like he had all these women, like, and he was in like that position of power, and and how like that clearly has never fully gone away. I think as much as like they stayed together through the years, and of course they had like ups and downs, I think deep down that feeling has kind of stayed with her.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's sad to hear that, and kind of hear the way that there would be moments, and especially like, you know, I don't care what your reasoning is. Like, I'm sure he does feel like I that's a projection to me. Like, that's Matt James not being able to not being able to commit in that way, or not wanting to, or not ready to get married, is when you throw it on the other person of like,
for sure.
of like, I don't think you're really like, I don't really see you as my wife. Like, I don't really think you have the qualities.
Right.
It's like, what? Okay. Who do you have in your mind that's like this perfect angel,
right?
That's like just gonna do what, like, you know,
yeah.
I think he's got a very unrealistic viewpoint
for sure
on who he should be marrying. And Matt certainly probably has his own issues when it comes to his own parents and things that have happened, that like, I think he has his own commitment issues 100%. And they just exploded, and it came at the worst time. Talking about girls and guys that like with breakups, I think girls, you know, rarely do I find that girls like wake up in the morning and they're like, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend today. Like, it's something that they thought about. They played all the scenarios. What happens? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? You really are thinking about it, and then it's a time where it happens. Like, to me, I'm like, did he just wake up? Like, there's no thought into that, because if you're even like the littlest bit considerate of the other person, you say, okay, she's getting on a flight, she's going back to Atlanta, she has a baby shower, like, I'll see her next week, and let's talk this out, but I think I'm done. And like, you can have that conversation. And maybe it's tough because you just push the conversation and it drags on. But God, he picked the worst time.
Awful timing. And yeah, all those things are true. And it's like, listen, it's also the way you word things, right? Like, to say like you don't have the qualities that I see in a wife is so damaging to a person's like brain, where you then Rachel's insecure about herself. It's like,
you're like, what's wrong with me that I'm not a wife?
Right. And it's like, no, that there's nothing wrong with you that you're not a wife. Like, Rachel would be an amazing wife. Like, it's the way you should go. It's like you said, he's projecting, like, and you could want to break up with somebody and not want to be in the relationship anymore, but it's kind of about the way you word things and like how you go about it. And it just seemed like he did it.
It's just respect. You've been together for 4 years.
It's just like, you could just be like, I don't even know. I mean, I'm not in his brain, so I don't know what he could be like. But definitely don't make the woman that you've been with for 4 years have herself feel like she's not good enough to be a wife. Like, I don't know. It's just, there's so many.
And post that, and like take that moment of posting it publicly.
And like, why do you want people to know so badly so soon that you're single? Like, that to me is suspicious too. Not, you know what I mean? It's like, you want everyone to know right that second that you broke up that you're single. And I also, by the way, think it's a red flag that he wasn't going home with her early in the first place. If you're in, by the way, Tokyo, very far.
Yeah.
If you're going to Tokyo with your significant other and she has to go home one day early because of a baby shower, bridal shower, why aren't you just getting on the flight home with her? You need to stay that extra day. Like, that to me is a red flag. It's like, who, like, that's just
a lot of old clips are coming up too of them talking about how like he would be so forgetful, and she would tell him like about a wedding and be like, we have a wedding. We have a wedding. And then like the week of be like, remember we have that wedding on Friday? And he'd be like, oh shoot, like I can't go. Like I have this to do. And then she'd like end up going to weddings alone.
It kind of seemed like
I think she put up with a lot.
And it kind of seemed like it's his world, and that's why I feel like she has these insecurities. And she is so stunning and super cool, and like really has all these wonderful, amazing qualities about her. And I feel like she even mentioned it herself that she wants to take the time now to work on, you know, the insecurity and lack of confidence that she had over the 4 years. And she said, you know, it's not directly because of him. There are other, you know, things that have gone on. But I think she's still
everything she went through just from the show.
Right. It's there's a lot that she probably did not work through with that situation. And so I feel like she also talked about this like super fresh off the breakup. So she's still in the stage of wanting him and wanting to be with him and wanting to hear from him.
Right.
When
and be nice and respectful.
And be nice and respectful. But then comes the months after where you start to, you know, things start to click a little bit, and you start to have that realization where like, that was weird and this wasn't okay. And, you know, like you start to wake up, and I think she'll have that coming in the next couple months, and totally rooting for her to find that. And it also opened up a new conversation, which I think hasn't really been talked about much, is like the power imbalance that happens with the leads of The Bachelor and Bachelorette that you don't really think about post show.
Right.
And she kind of mentioned it. It's like, well, this person was the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, and I had to fight for their love. I had to fight to be that person. And then afterwards, how does that person act? Do they treat you as an equal, or do they treat you like, yeah, I picked you, you had to fight for me? Like, where does that change? And I've seen Kelsey talk about this with Joey, that like she has mentioned that like Joey has done the work to make Kelsey feel so solidified in the fact that like they're, you know what I mean? Like even though there were other women and she, you know, had to be the one to get picked, like he has made her feel like totally secure in that fact and that avenue. So it's an interesting dynamic to think about the aftermath of that and how someone acts. So rooting for Rachel, glad she got to talk about it. I think once again, a lot of people watching the interview can relate to those sort of situations, and just a really shitty way for him to go about that all.
Totally.
It's just, and she even said in the interview, she was like, I don't think I'm sitting here today unless he posts that and makes that decision to publicize it and go about the breakup this way. Like they probably would have just broken up, announced it in a different way a couple weeks after, and no one really would have been like, what, you know what I mean?
He caused a media stir the way he posted.
He did. Father God.
Yeah. He caused an absolute media stir. I just want to quickly mention Claire's Instagram story. That's Claire Crawley came crawling out and said, catching up on SoCal, I think she said social news or SoCal news, and SMH at some of this stuff. Remembering that one time I specifically asked producers to please not allow one specific guy on my season because I knew for a fact he was not looking for a serious relationship whatsoever, and I didn't want him to waste anyone's time. So instead, they made him the Bachelor. Look, fair point. I mean, Matt James was going to go on her season at the time. Like that certainly was not going to be a love connection. And then they made Matt the Bachelor. We always, like, Matt was not going on. We know because we saw how his season, like, Matt didn't want to get engaged at the end of the it just wasn't going to happen.
It just kind of sucks that it feels like a lot of stuff was for content, like posting that immediately like online. And I want to ask Rachel, did they ever go out to eat that and it wasn't filmed? You know what I mean? Right. Like I have so many questions about that.
Yeah, no, that it is interesting. But I mean, in that defense, is like, it's his job.
No, it is his job.
You know, like that's like that's how he was making money and like doing things. So I get that. But
I just wonder if they had any time where they would eat and it wasn't filmed. Right. I think that's just a good question to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Could we ever just sit down and enjoy the meal? And like we have dedicated filming times, but we also have times where we like don't do that.
For sure. But Rachel will be out of this better than ever, I think.
And you know, he lost a ton of followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
A ton. It's just like he's probably kicking himself like, man, if I just would have.
He really handled it very poorly.
And if I would have just handled this a bit better. But
if he didn't post that, like, Rachel's probably not going on Call Her Daddy and saying every, like, word for word, like, what was said to her, So that's what you dig your own grave at that point, right? Like,
yeah,
And it's tough because I've always enjoyed Matt, and I think Matt's a fun guy. But like hearing some of the things that Rachel has said from their relationship, it's tough.
No, it's tough,
really,
and I
makes
can't
me
even.
very sad for her.
Just the thought of being on a plane with no Wi-Fi for 12 hours after I just got broken up with.
No, it's terrible.
And the world knows that we just broke up, and I can't. It'd be like, flight attendant, can I borrow your phone? Can I log in real quick? Let people know what's going on? Can I call my mom and dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, but yeah, it was a good. I think Alex Cooper did a really great job with that.
She totally did. Handled it really well.
All right,
let's get into our interview with Austen.
Yeah, let's talk it out. We're about to get into our great interview with Austen Kroll, but this segment is sponsored by Truly Hard Seltzer. It's surprisingly light, refreshing. My favorite flavor is the Paradise, which tastes just, it's delicious, it's light, and it's that amazing hard seltzer that you're looking for. It's only 100 calories, 1 gram of sugar, and 5% alcohol in each can. And it comes in more delicious flavors, not just the pear that I love. There's strawberry lemonade, another classic, pineapple, and the fan favorite, which is wild berry. And it's the official seltzer of Chicks in the Office. So welcome, Truly, and thanks for being the official seltzer of Chicks in the Office. And you can find your Truly at a store near you or visit www.trulyhardseltzer.com and look forward to our last question of the interview presented by Truly Hard Seltzer. All right, everyone, we are here with special guest Austen Kroll, recurring guest at this point.
Very recurring.
Very, very recurring guest here to talk about this season of Southern Charm, his life, everything that's going on. Welcome back to the show, Austen.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. We're being honest here, I don't do very many podcasts, but I always do y'all's.
You just come back.
Yeah.
You just can't quit us.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Have you been on in this studio yet?
Yes.
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 With Craig.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
No longer with Craig.
That's also
this time,
a recurring theme. I do
It's been with Craig a lot.
With Craig.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. But here we are.
Yeah, not to dive right into it, kind of just led us right to that point. But first, how are you feeling? You're doing a lot of press this week. You did Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
About?
Just like talking about this season.
No, I'm not, because there's no big thing that has happened to me involving someone of the opposite sex like it normally does.
That's what I said to you. I was like, it's not that bad. I mean, you're fighting with Craig,
Sure,
but
that's like pretty par for the course.
For this season,
there's no girl issues.
There's no
Right.
girl
It's like
issues.
less of like, oh my God, Austin's being a huge asshole to this girl.
Right, right.
You know?
And
It's more just like you guys are fighting as friends.
But that is hard too, because Craig and I pull our punches a lot with each other, because we both know that we don't want to like deliver that lethal blow, right? And so it makes it harder, because then some might say that we dance around the issue, and then that's what we do. We dance until it comes to like a head, which you'll see later on in the season, right? Until we finally, one of us like sacks up and is like, all right, let's get to the root of this, and then we kind of do it.
And
but
somebody
until
says the
then,
thing.
it's like little shots here and there.
Yeah.
I feel like
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, and beautiful. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the big thing here, and I feel like it is kind of being talked about, you're saying it's danced around, but like you feel like he kind of pulled away from the friendship. He kind of cut all his friends off, really.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he kind of pulled like a bit of like a Howard Hughes. And I'm not saying that it's because, he was dating someone. I just think that it's like because that's just like, he thought that the recipe for, success was like just focus on one thing, and that like is business, and everything else is just, noise, right? And I'm like, where's the bounce?
Yep.
That's all that I was, asking of him. And I guess he just took that in the completely wrong way. Like, I guess that when I went to his house, let's just start there, for me, right? Because the whole thing was like, Patricia had a birthday. And even prior to Patricia's birthday, I asked her, I was like, the fact that Craig isn't going is kind of weird to me. And I was like, why isn't Craig coming? And I asked her actually like 3 times. And the last time I asked her, I was like, you sure that you don't want to just like add Craig to the list, right? Because I was feeling, weird about it. I was like, where's Craig? And she was like, I don't have room. Like, I don't have room. And I would rather have, X, Y, and Z there, flat out. And I was like, because you don't talk to Craig anymore. She was like, I haven't heard from Craig in, ages.
Yeah,
so I'm like, okay. So the day after her birthday, I go to Craig's to tell him like, hey man, you've pulled away from some of your relationships because your head's been down and, so focused on, this, and I thought that he was maybe going to be like, yeah, man, like I've been, trying to open a store in Nashville. I've been focused on, this Kroger deal, but maybe you're right. And I'll try to, and it was just like the exact opposite reaction of like, how dare you say that anything in my life is not perfect or, whatever. And I was like, whoa, not the reaction that I expected.
I think you guys were also like misinterpreting each other a little bit, and which is probably what you're saying, like when you're kind of dancing around
I think
what
you're right.
really is going on.
Because I was nervous to go over there, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was like scared. I was like, Craig might just like implode on me.
Yeah, and I think here you make a lot of good points of like coming from a concerned friend, but like Craig thought it was coming from a place of like, oh, you don't go out and have beers with me out now. And he's like, well, I don't, because like Craig's allowed to decide that he wants to like not do that anymore. Fine.
For sure.
But you're like, okay, well, we don't, we could go and you can come over and like we could have water and like watch a movie. Like you're like,
Totally.
and be friends.
Totally.
And
Watch Harry Potter.
yeah, it's just like, I think Craig was really, it just felt like maybe Craig was in his own headspace of like everybody is thinking, I changed, but I didn't change, but I did change, but I want to change, and then like spiraled. It just like it just seemed like it spiraled a little bit, and it became like a bigger thing than it needed to be.
I agree with that, and I think what you're saying is true. Like everyone's allowed to grow and change and want to do different things in life and have different aspirations and focus on that. 100%. But when you ditch your friends. It becomes a bigger problem where the friends that you've been with for so many years are going to be like, hey, you don't hang out with us anymore. And that doesn't mean we have to party. It could be just grabbing lunch, grabbing dinner, really whatever it is. So it's about finding that balance of, hey, I'm working on this. I'm working on these businesses. But yeah, let's go grab lunch. Let's catch up. Let's do those things.
I mean,
are all so important. Yeah. Like
balance is like
you have to have those friends in your life because, say something happens, and we're kind of now seeing that unfold publicly with Craig and Paige breaking up, and I feel like he's obviously going through something with that as well. Now you guys are kind of like, hey, we're here for you. We're gonna be here for you. You're going through a hard time, but we kind of wish you would have gave us a little bit more time during all that, right?
I mean, you're doing the podcast for me.
I don't mean to be. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I'm watching the show, and obviously things that he's saying like are pissing me off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that things that I'm saying are pissing him off. That's the way it goes, and you know that now. Little Miss Reality Star. and then he goes through like a breakup, and so you make a choice, and you're like, you got to push it all aside to be there for your buddy. And so we did that, and we actually had like a cameras up moment, right, where Craig came over to my house, and Shep came as well, and the three of us talked about Craig's breakup. And I was just like, Craig, I want you to promise me that like you're not just gonna like, shut off. And I'm like, if you need someone to talk to and, hang with and take your mind off it, like call me. Call me. Like it's not good for you just to be solo with your thoughts about what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've certainly pushed it all aside to try to be there for him.
Has he taken you up on that at all, or?
Him and I have had a few 30, 40 minute long phone calls, and like we used to do that all like every day, every day. And so, he's called me, and I've just been there to listen, just been there to listen. And he's like, and then I heard this, and then I heard, and all this stuff. And so I have spoken to him, but then I've also been like a punching bag for him, just, recently he got all pissed about something that, he saw on the show. I was like,
Right.
dude. And then he was like, he backed off and was like, I took it out on you.
Yeah,
like I found out, this and I'm sorry. And I'm like, that is fine, but like, don't, man.
No, totally.
Don't.
He's looking for an outlet right now, and it's tough because we do love both of you guys. So it's like, oh no, the girls are fighting. Like no, like no, don't fight. We love you guys,
Right. And Paige too. I'm like, oh my God.
But it is like there are moments that we see that you're like, oh no, like why'd you do that or why'd you do that? Like watching the show back, and I can totally understand why things can become irritating. Like the fact that he thought he could just kind of like buy you out of the podcast for, by the way, a low price. I was
fire sale.
Yeah, like
fire sale price.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, that's not nice. You don't do that.
Sorry.
It's Craig. No.
It's Shep.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something. Every time one of you guys does the podcast, Shep calls.
Really?
I don't know
That's
what
so
has
true.
happened.
That did happen,
Because
yeah.
Craig, last time Craig was here solo, Shep was also calling
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
That's
that
funny.
did happen.
So, Shep.
Hey, you still got those phone calls with Shep.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah, I can't get
talk to
rid of Shep.
all the time. That's a different, conversation. But,
No, but yeah, okay. So he lowballs you for the podcast. What are you thinking in that moment?
I was just like, how tone deaf can you be?
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I don't like the podcast is like the furthest thing from my mind right now. Right. Like in my mind, I'm like, all right, man, Craig and I are fighting, we're just going to take off, some time and, this and that. And then for him to kind of come and start talking about, buying me out. I'm like, what are you buying me out of, Craig? Like all that you have to do is like stop doing the podcast, and then you don't have to buy me out anything. Like you just make another podcast and call it Craig's show. I don't know.
Right, because you're going to take the
what are you
name.
going to do with pillows and beer? Like there's no
taking the name pillows
it just
and
becomes
beer.
pillows.
It just becomes
Right,
pillows.
exactly.
But
That's
so it just didn't
lonely,
make sense to me, right? Because
Right.
I was like,
just go do a new show.
Just go do another show.
Yeah.
I
Like that.
think it was dramatic.
Yeah,
and it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, add, $70K to that, and let's get up to 6, and then,
Right.
and then okay. then fine.
Let's go to the
And
table.
then you're
here,
like,
Craig.
I'm basically
Let's
stealing money from you because we could have just ended this
Right, 'cause
show
we
and you
could've
could have
just
just
ended
started
this.
your new show
But,
and I
okay,
wouldn't have
fine.
asked for a dime.
I'll take like 100K, I guess. Like,
Yeah, right.
I mean, but yeah, it was silly, and it kind of like proved my point even more.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm like, money,
yeah.
dollar signs, right? And it's good to be focused, right? But like, it all goes back to balance, and it pains me that, but like I knew this, right? I was talking to Shep when we were filming, and I was like, dude, just get ready for Craig's fans to be like, you're just jealous. I'm like, you're missing the point. You're totally just missing the point of what I'm saying. It's not jealousy. I've always been an advocate for Craig. I view Craig as a peer, whereas like Shep and Whitney, have always been older, and they look down and make fun of them, and but I've always been like a supporter of that, and that's just like not the direction that I even like was considering, like trying to put down Craig to make myself feel better.
Yeah, and you have to, and I think people have to take the reality TV show aspect out of it and just think about you guys as friends in real life. Like if fans are watching the show and they put themselves in your position and they think about, what if my best friend started cutting me off and didn't want to see me, and maybe they had concern, like, okay, say Craig's concern with you is about partying and he doesn't want to do that. Well, then I wish my friend would just tell me, hey, I'm not into the partying scene anymore, but would love to do something else with you. Like, just look at it from that angle rather than
Well,
The problem was it seemed like he didn't want to do other things.
yeah.
Okay, so
Did you
I
ever
almost
think
did
about
like
the
a
fact that
crowd
he
working
just
thing, last night, right? Like I watched Robin's off. I'm like, who here, is here with one of their friends, right? And the crowd's like, woo me. Who here like is married and might have like a baby like at home that they're like, yes, man, mom's night out, and people are like, yeah, woo woo, and I'm like, yeah, Craig doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that.
Do you ever think to yourself, and this is kind of sad, like I don't even want to ask this, but like when it feels like he doesn't even want to do any of those things, are you like, damn, does he just like not like me as a person?
My girl,
Yes.
this happened when we filmed, and I said it to him, And I was like, I mean, Craig, you're making me feel like a sixth grader here. And I'm like, do you like me anymore? And I was like, I have to say this.
Right.
And I said, do you not want to hang out with me anymore? And he looked at me like I had three heads. He was like, are you insane? Like, why would you even say, And I was like, okay, then what the fuck is
right,
it?
because you're getting the feeling you're like, I feel like you don't like me as a person, and if you don't like me as a person, then tell me, and then cool, I won't try to hang out with you anymore.
Bingo.
Then I can have the answer, and then I won't even try.
And I guess that they didn't play it right, but like I said that to Craig, and then later on, he even kind of made fun of me more for it. He was like, you said it like 3 times that you didn't think like I liked you, and I was like, okay. I mean, I'm like a grown man, and if you say that you don't like me, then yes, I'll just try less and won't do this kind of thing anymore, and I'll take it on the chin and just be like, okay, Craig doesn't like me anymore. And part of the thing is that you were talking about growth and change, and yes, everyone is like allowed to grow and change, and I feel like Craig refuses to see that I am as well. And he's just like, I've grown so much, and where are you? And I'm like, dude, you're not even like willing to look and see change, that I have in my life and all this, and so I just think that Craig is just so like, I've changed, so much, and my life, I mean, God, in season 9, I mean, Mr. Golden Boy, right? And that doesn't anger me, right? But like, and then to go to season 10, he was like, okay, my life is wonderful. Now I'm just going to, cut out drinking. So I'm even more of like, and I'm like, okay, great. If you don't want to drink or, drink sparingly, then, then so be it. But like, can you accept that I've grown as well? And I'm, been taking measures like in my life to not, regress back to, previous versions of myself, and feel like, Craig needs to like acknowledge that.
You don't have to dive into this too much, but I mean, his relationship had to have was factored into some of those decisions, you think? I mean, either just maybe what Paige wanted him to be doing, or
like watching back on the show. I mean, before, like I would always be asked, like, do you think it's Paige? Do you think it's Paige? Do you think it's Paige? And I was like, no, no, I don't. I just think that's how Craig is, and watching it back, like I see that, she had some influence on, some things, and I just think that, Craig is an interesting character. Yeah. And he marches to the beat of his own drum.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I wish Craig was sitting here next to you so we could like talk it all out together.
Yeah, we just have a group therapy session. We're like, we're not leaving this room until you guys decide you're going to hang out.
And you guys better hug. Yeah. No, it's like a pre-reunion. We sit you guys both down. You know what I mean?
Our reunion is next week.
Wow. Yeah, so it's, I mean, you guys are gonna have all these conversations.
Like, something tells me that Craig is going to be in here because I think he might be doing Watch What Happens, next week.
We would
look, we would love to have Craig on.
Yeah, we're not here next week, but we would love for Craig to come back on.
New Orleans, baby.
Yeah, Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Down there all week for the Super Bowl.
Please do us all a favor.
Okay, but there's so much other stuff going on Southern Charm as well. I know you guys, like, your whole relationship is kind of the main plot point right now, but there are some new people, some new faces. What have you thought about the Sally edition?
I just know Sally from some Reputation, stuff. Like I remember over the summer or whatever, Shep was like, yeah, man, check out this girl, man. She's DMing me, and I'm gonna go sleep with her, and all, and I was like, oh, okay. It like read to me a little bit like, hey, Shep, she's kind of using you as like a ladder here. No shame like in her game though.
Yeah.
I mean, but then like with Joe
Never
Bradley,
forget one episode of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And then
notable.
And then with Taylor's ex, the fact that there's like that crossover
is crazy.
there.
Very. I mean, we all know that Charleston is so
Taylor
incestuous,
used to date,
incestuous
Sally's,
like that, but
current on the show, which they've broken up since. And the fact that Sally, used to date hers, and I was like, that's why I don't date people in Charleston any longer. I'm not doing it, because you walk in and someone has, like, you've slept with somebody there.
Yeah.
But I like that Sally is taking it full on, and she's just like, owning it and just kind of being like, okay, does anyone else have any questions? Like, I'll do this freaking thing all night. So
Right.
I like that.
That's definitely. I agree with that. What about Weenie Hut Jr. president, JT? He's just been. You don't really interact with him too much.
No, I haven't had to, which has been a godsend.
And then he quit.
Well, look, I haven't had to interact much. And I mean,
so you missed that whole.
If we're being honest,
you missed the whole band.
Yeah, I was at a wedding.
The whole band show after party situation where like everybody got mad at JT for.
And Shep called me and I was like, dude, you just missed some mayhem. And I was like, I'm kind of glad that I did, right?
Yeah,
Because what, I don't know. I
feel like it's better if you're not involved in like Taylor's drama.
100%. And that's why I have like stayed on the other side of the street on all of it all season. Yeah. And I'm just like, I wish her the best, but I'm not getting involved in this. Shep is doing that enough for kind of everyone. But back to the JT thing, which I do not want to talk about, much because but he like kind of had me in a position in the beginning of the season where I was going to have to like man up and just be like, okay, you said, sorry to me. Now let's try to like, move forward together, because if I wouldn't have, then I would have looked like a petty little bitch. Right. And I was like, man, he kind of has me. Right. Yeah. Because he was like, hey, man, let's, work it out. And then he just immediately hung himself with that rope. And then I just haven't had to interact with him since.
Do you think he actually called Miss Patricia a bitch?
You're the first person that's asked me that point blank. And I've had all these answers in my head. And I guess the answer is that I don't care. Yeah. Right. Still a little shithead.
Yep. Yep. That's fair. I mean, we were floored by like the whole I'm done. I've done some interviews and now I'm done and I'm not going to keep filming them.
I just was so confused because I thought there were like rules.
I just passed him. When I was going to my interview and he was leaving. I'm like, see what?
I just feel like it's like a cowardly move to just quit in the middle of the season, just finish it out and then don't return for the next one.
Literally called like. It's like, I love to make a mess, but I'm going to run away. And not,
right. Right. You're going to throw it and then just like 100%. Sprint away.
Have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where you can order some of the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants all across the U.S. and they will ship it free to your door anywhere in the country. I just got a shipment, guys, and I'm feeling in the mood. I'm feeling festive. We're leading into the big game. I got all my Eagles juju going on. Jim's and Pat's in Philly both send cheesesteaks through GoBelly. I got Pat's sent, and oh my God, it was delicious. Arrived right at my door, popped that bad boy in the oven. Oh my God, it took me right to Philly. It was delicious. You can get things like the original buffalo wings from the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, and even Kansas City's most legendary barbecue. And if the pizza near you sucks, they will ship you New York pizza from John's on Bleecker, or Chicago deep dish from Lou Malnati's, or even New Haven or Detroit style pizza. So if you're looking to host an epic Super Bowl party, or any party for that matter, go to goldbelly.com and get free shipping and 20% off your first order with promo code CHICKS. That's goldbelly.com, code CHICKS for free shipping and 20% off your first order.
What's going on in your dating life?
Yeah, so
it's been good.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend, and she. It's so weird to say. It's like a term that I like. That's like frightened me. But
it turned bright red.
That's why I asked.
I know. God.
That's why I asked it like that. I was like, "What's he gonna say?"
Yeah.
Yep.
It was. Look, I've had tumultuous relationships in the past.
Yes, you have.
And it's so nice to like. Just have someone who just like lets me be, and honestly, she's like a proponent of my peace. She's like a peacekeeper,
so nice.
That's beautiful.
for me. She's so chill, she's not keeping tabs on me, and that's just like the way.
I hope you let her be too. Then, like 100%. Mutual, like support.
100%.
How does she feel about like the show? I know you guys did a little bit with like going to visit your parents, and like, but obviously she's not in Charleston.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny about it? So she was in town. during that episode, right? You know, the episode's airing and she's at my house and, you know, we're cooking dinner, you know, watching a show. And I'm like, the episode where like we go to my parents' house, like it's on tonight, you know, do you want to watch it? And she was like, no.
No.
Yeah. I was like,
she's like,
okay.
I lived it.
Yeah,
So,
no, right.
Don't need
and
to
I was
rewatch.
like, okay. I was like, what a wonderful answer. Like,
Yeah.
okay, and on with our lives. So, she definitely came and filmed like a party here, and my parents there, and then there's like another party that, you know, she goes to another couple times, but, you know, I didn't feel necessary to like bring her around into all of the mix. It just gets messy, right? And like, so she comes to like another party, and you'll see that. So, you know, JT's not like invited, but then Shep does like invite him. And so then, you know, JT's like, oh, okay, well, like I'll show up maybe because Shep. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't want my girlfriend there if he's going to be there, because you just never know what off the wall nonsense that he read like on Reddit that, you know, he's going to let fly this week.
Yeah.
So I like try to like avoid like a crossover there. And I think like he shook her hand and I was like, go wash your hand right now. You know, and she was like, I didn't know what to do.
No, in that situation, you just kind of have to, you gotta roll with it for
How
sure.
long have you guys been together now?
A year.
Nice.
He says with shock.
Yeah, no,
I
No,
know.
it's very.
I'm very happy
we're
for you.
very happy.
No, that's
But
awesome.
here's the thing, and it comes back to like, you know, the growth thing and doing all these things. Is like, by the way, you know, just because your relationship hasn't been like front and center on the show or anything, or it's like she's not also on reality TV, like you've taken steps in your personal life with dating and doing those things, like, and that's great. And you know,
you've kept it more.
it's maybe Craig hasn't acknowledged all that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those things too that when we became boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Like we had the talk, and it was like more for me than, you know, for her. I was like, we need to just like define this so that I don't have the like gray area card that I've been accused of in the past. And I'm like, let's
accused
make
of
this
or have done.
have done.
Yes.
Yes. Right. You know, the gray area.
Yeah,
so
the gray area that you have done.
Yes, the gray area that I have done.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that I was like, let's make this, you know, black and white, so that we can just like.
I mean, look, I loved hearing what Andy said when you guys, you know, watched Happens Live, being like, I was in London, I was with Shep, I was with, or no, or maybe it was you and Craig, not Shep, because who knows? I mean, I don't know what is going on with Shep's love life, but with the two of you, and like he was like, you guys were so well behaved, like
Yeah, I mean, we like went out in you know, London. We had a lot of fun, and by the way, we were out until like, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, and Craig was drinking like, you know, man, low ABV beers or, you know, whatever. Fine, right? But didn't say like a thing to him. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, man.
Right,
you know, this is like, I mean, this is fun stuff. And I'm like, are you only here because, you know, Andy's here?
Right.
You know, and
I mean, you don't have to drink to have fun in any capacity. There are some nights where I'll be out till 3, 4 in the morning and I barely drank, and I'm like, I'm just having a good time. You know, like it's.
And so, we were out and we were doing some fun, you know, people watching, but you know, Craig and I are just.
Shep is not with this girl anymore that he's was with on the show?
No. And it's very bizarre to me too. So if it's bizarre to you as the watcher, I understand.
Yeah, because it's like, are they boyfriend girlfriend? Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, because no, well, you know, I mean, gosh, I date someone that lives like in Charlotte, right, which is 3 hours away, and he's trying to date someone that lives in the Bahamas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I'm like, Shep, you are too much of a horn dog to like not be able to see someone. Like what, man? You're going to see her like once a month and just think that you're going to be some good little boy, you know, around town.
It sounds like he kind of wanted to like live in the Bahamas with her.
He should just go live in the Bahamas.
It like crossed his mind.
Yeah, it seemed like it did.
He was like, is this like my lot in life to move to the Bahamas and like buy some real estate here? And
she didn't really seem like she loved the idea.
Yeah.
Well, so basically what it is, in my opinion, is that, and in Craig's opinion too, it is that to me it was very, very obvious. So Shep had this relationship with Taylor, and I think it's the first time in his life that he like really had someone that, you know, he loved and cared about, and, you know, he had like a partner, and you know, he you know, messed up and they broke up, but I think that he's wanted that since. So then he kind of found, you know, this girl, and I guess that they connect, and he just like wanted that, you know, connection again so bad that he was like, maybe it's supposed to be with her.
Yeah.
And so he kind of just dove into this thing where it probably just should have been like hey, like I met this girl in Raya and she flew in and we've had some fun times and, that's it. But I think that they L'd each other hard, like, early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they were
It did seem that way even just from...
They were like, I L you.
Yeah,
it was
right,
like,
right,
what?
right.
You say that to her?
Yeah.
You've hung out with her 3 times.
I don't think
Speaking
I
of-
realized that she was a fan of the show or that was like a
Yeah, it's something like her grandmother is like the founder of this like charm fan club in the Bahamas or something like that.
goodness.
A Southern Charm fan club in the
Yes.
In the
Bahamas?
Bahamas?
Something like that.
Oh my gosh.
That's one.
Yeah,
I
it's-
didn't. I mean,
One,
it's just
that's
interesting.
amazing.
What-
Like,
congrats,
just like-
congrats to you
It's
guys
amazing.
for
That's
having that
amazing
be a
that
thing.
that
Yes.
even
You know what I
exists
mean?
in the world. Like that's amazing.
Yeah,
But,
more like a congratulations
Yeah,
rather
I
than.
mean, it's
Her grandma must have had a field
Yeah.
day with the way that this went.
Listen, if there's one in the Bahamas, there's got to be one in Brazil, and if you made it in Brazil,
Yeah.
you made it everywhere.
Of course.
You know,
Okay,
come
why
to Brazil. You've never
Has
seen
to
on
be.
Instagram? That's the thing. Like
no.
with like a famous person, they're always like, "Come to Brazil."
Oh.
That's the thing. So
Yes,
there's got to
yes.
be a charm
Once
fan
you
club
start
in
to get
Brazil.
that, yeah,
yeah,
for
then you've
sure.
really made
For
it.
sure.
How did you feel being called like the biggest love bomber?
So I turned on the last like 15 minutes of Taylor's Watch What Happens Live. I was like, let's see what's going on here.
Yep.
And
Well, like you do every Sunday through Thursday.
yeah, of course. And she was going in about Shep being one, and in my head I was like, Shep is not a love bomber, and I was like, huh? And then she turned it to me, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, wait, what the hell just
Yeah.
happened? And then Andy was like, oh, okay, well, has he done it to you? And she's like, no, not me. And in my head I was just like, Taylor, what are you talking about? Like, who have I love bombed?
Do you feel like you're a
Right?
love
Like, I don't-
bomber, or like have?
No,
Yeah.
but like I did in a therapy session talk to my therapist about, I was like, because I have this thing where like I get off the phone with like a friend or something, sometimes I'm like, all right, man, love you. Right. Like I say that to people.
Yeah. Yep.
And maybe at one point, like I was doing that to, I mean, I don't think that I was doing that to Taylor. Right. But then my therapist was like, okay, maybe just use that word as like an intentional, word. And I was like, okay, like I won't, calculate that around, but I do not say that, to women. I
Yeah,
can promise
and-
you that,
yeah,
like,
and love bombing could,
I love you way,
Right.
just to get them to feel some way. So I do not do that because that's
Right.
a huge word and it,
Yeah.
it freaks me
Yeah,
out.
But
and
love
sometimes
bombing
love
could
bombing is
be
a
more.
totally
Yeah, it's not
different
just
thing,
about
too,
like saying I love you.
No,
It's more just like a right off the bat when you're dating someone, you're going over the top of being like very serious
Okay.
right away, doing
Okay.
like
Right.
extreme romantic gestures for them right away. Like that would be sort of love bombing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
love bomb. Like it's. I think she was like some people. The way she was talking about it, it sounded like just saying "I love you" early on
Yeah.
in a relationship, which isn't really fully the extent of what love bombing can be. It's like kind of more used as like a manipulative tactic to
Right.
like get
To
the girl
rope somebody in early in.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
like going over the trips. I love like over all those things.
that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I don't think that that's the way
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I
Tattoo
operate.
on the first week.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that that's the way that like I operate. So
I
when
think
she said it, I
Taylor
was like,
sometimes like
I was like, Taylor,
speaks and then
what?
is like,
From
why
what
did I
I've heard
just
about
say
you,
that?
it seems like you're more of like distant.
so like
just like some of the things, like sometimes I feel like
Typically-
Taylor blurts stuff out and then she's like, ooh, I
I actually
take that
think
back.
that like that is more so what happened. Like when she said it, I was like, Taylor, I was like, you just say things, you know, sometimes that I don't even know if you know what you're saying.
Yeah, it goes back to like the Craig, just the Craig and Page thing. When
Craig.
Craig.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my God, did anybody call them that?
I don't know.
Oh,
but
but
they
now
coined
you
their
just did
nickname
that
after
now.
it
Well, no,
happened.
not
Oh
now.
my God, I know. Damn. Okay, well,
I-
moving on from that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the best
I
for
meant
both,
it like
by
the
the
rumor
way.
that Taylor was like, oh, Paige is
Yeah.
like cheating or whatever, and everyone was like, what are you talking about?
Well, yeah, like
Right.
why would you blurt that out?
Yeah.
And you just made yourself, look kind of silly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
Yep.
has a history of blurting things out. And
Yeah.
I was gonna text her about it and be like, "What the hell was that?" But I was just like, I think that was just like a Taylorism.
Yeah.
On the Craig and Paige topic, I hope the best for both of them. I hope they both figure it out. You know what I mean? And I
Did
feel
you
like
find out publicly, like when everybody else found out?
That is when I found out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I
We should have called you. Ria called me immediately. Was like, you see this?
No,
Yeah,
let me
I,
tell
like,
you.
called
Fran
Chef, and I
texted
was
me.
like, what do we do?
I was in.
She was in London.
and Fran texted me, and she was like, "Did you see the news about Paige and Craig?" And I was like, "What? Did they get engaged?" And she was like, "No,
I said,
they broke up."
I said,
And I was like, "What? What?" And then I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Like we were like,
Yeah.
"Whoa," you know, it was
Yep.
right around
Yeah,
Christmas
so
time.
I knew, you know, the writing was on the wall for me, and I was just like, you know, we opened our bar, like she didn't come down for the opening, and I know that, you know, she's busy. I'm not saying that she's not. You know, we all know that she's busy, but like, you really do make time for the people that you care about. And so it was just like a couple of things, right? And then I just didn't think that, you know, she'd been at Charleston in ages, and Craig said that they had this whole plan for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he told me this like right after Thanksgiving. He was like, so she's gonna come down here for 4 days, then we're gonna go to Delaware for 2 days, and then we're gonna go to Albany for, you know, 2 or 3 days. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, and then we're gonna go to London. I noticed that, you know, they were both posting that, you know, home for Christmas. And I was like, they are not together.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, even prior to that, kind of when he told me about his plans for Christmas, you know, and I'm trying to, like, you know, delicately do this so I don't, like, you know, betray, you know, things that, you know, he said to me, but I just like had noticed, right? And Craig doesn't typically open up about him and Paige.
Yeah.
You know, like I find out what you guys, you know, find out like on the show, right? You know, he tends to be more honest on the show. You know, in certain capacities, than, you know, he does to me. But, you know, he had said something to me like along the lines of, we just had like a talk on the phone for, you know, 30 minutes, and, you know, she thinks that like I'm mad at her because, you know, she's super busy and blah blah. And I was like, okay. I was like, that is like a normal thing, Craig. And I was like, and thank you for coming to me to say something, because you know, you rarely do. But yeah, and then I texted him like, hey, well, when are you taking off for London? And me texting him that was me being like, I know that something's up.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
And then call me, tell me.
And then he didn't say anything. And then, you know, the next day I was like, you know, ...
Yeah.
And then he was like, he gave me a very runaroundy answer of like, we're not going to London, and I'm going to Aspen. And then a couple days later, I saw and then like I texted him and was like, all right, man, you know, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do our last question, presented by Truly Hard Seltzer.
Yes.
Little ad read tossed right in here. Look at
Mountain
that.
Paradise, my favorite flavor.
We'll get a little, you know, now that this has all happened, you said you're filming the reunion soon. What do you think is the path forward for your friendship with Craig? Because you guys gotta get back together.
Yeah.
And listen, we're rooting for you both. We love you both.
Yeah, exactly.
And we want you guys sitting on this couch together, having a good time with us again.
Look, the thing is too, is that sometimes I think it like annoys us when they always want to pair us together, you know, for stuff, right?
Yeah, fair.
You know, sometimes it's like, I'm my own person, right? And Craig definitely feels that way, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the chemistry that we have together is kind of like an undeniable thing. And so they love to pair us, you know, for things. And we bounce off each other really, really well. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I think that we do things together really, really well. And I think that what needs to happen, because I think that at the root of it, and I'm going to workshop this here with you,
Yes.
you guys. And like, it's just us talking, right?
Yeah, no one else is hearing
right?
this.
Okay.
Yep. And everyone can, you know, workshop it together.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that at the root of it, Craig has always viewed me as Mr. Season 4. And so I don't think that he's ever quite given me like the respect level, right? He's always like, you know, if we're like on season 30, he's like, but I've, you know, done it for 4 seasons longer than you, right? And it's like, I think that at the root, it's always been that way a little bit. And he got picked on by Shep and Whitney to, you know, the ends of the earth. And then I came around and Craig's like, ooh, I can kind of pick on Austen. And yes, he's had some great, you know, friend moments on the show. Like I loved the way that he defended me to JT, you know, when he like accused me, you know, I was like I fist bumped. It's like, hell yeah, Craig, you know? So I'm not saying that he's a shitty friend. I'm just saying he needs to like realize, growth and that like the same playing field and all this stuff, right?
And you know what? That is actually a pretty fair point, because there probably is, and with you guys, there probably is like a sibling dynamic where it's like he was always the younger brother, and then he had someone come along that like then could be his younger brother, and this just kind of becomes like a cycle of like, oh well, they did
sure,
pass it
and
down.
like a brotherly way is a good way to put it. Like
Yeah.
I do have like a lot of love for Craig.
Yeah.
And you fight with your siblings.
Yeah.
And that's the same way that I do it with Craig and with Shep.
And just like when you fight with
like
your
that.
siblings, both of your feelings are valid, and sometimes just the way they get communicated just doesn't come across to each other, and everybody has a reasoning for doing something, and it's about finding that middle ground of like, okay, I agree with you on that about myself, but you have to take some accountability there, and like both
being able to take criticism is important.
take
And I just don't think that
accountability.
he takes criticism
Yeah.
well.
Well, I hope that you guys can hash it out, and if you do it at the reunion, I hope you guys can also have that moment to really talk and not have like everybody's out. Everybody else. I mean, even though we're giving our opinions right now, but like the other cast members to like, let you guys like have
off camera
have your
too,
moment.
like do the reunion and then
Totally.
off camera.
I think that we are going to come out of it, better than ever, and just be like, dude, from this point on, like, and it was tough. Exactly what you're saying at the cast trip. I began to talk to Craig, and we were sitting around like even Madison and Ryan and Rod, and they all started chiming in, and I got up. I was like, Craig, you and me are going over here. We're talking solo.
Yeah.
The peanut gallery is not what we need.
Yep,
right
exactly.
now to move past this.
That's definitely what you guys need. So, fingers crossed, everything works out.
We hope you guys can figure it out.
We'll be fine, I think.
There's no pillows and beer. It's two
Come on, it's together.
And like,
It's like chicks in the office.
that's
It's not
right.
chick
It's
in
not
the
chick
office.
in the office.
You know what I
And
mean?
I actually think that's, if Craig and I were to come out the other side, and then it's like, boom, Pillows and Beer's back, bigger and better than ever.
Craig,
right?
think about the Pillows and Beer reunion tour
That's
you
right.
could go
That's
on.
right. And we know that Craig loves money.
It sells itself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Austen, thanks for coming in and talking to us. We appreciate it. We
Yes.
know that this can be a little nerve-wracking and
For sure.
everything. So we love chatting with you, and we love you. We love Craig.
Yeah,
so
we're
it's
open to
just-
conversations
Yeah,
with
exactly.
everybody. We want everyone to
I know.
come in
Exactly.
here
I
and
know,
talk
and I
about
know
it and
that's-
listen to all
It's
the
not going to
feelings.
be long, before Craig comes in here.
Right,
Yeah.
and
He gives kind of his side.
Right,
So-
exactly.
Exactly. But we
That'll be great.
greatly appreciate it.
Yes, we
Southern
do.
Charm, obviously, everybody tune in. The season has been great. I mean, besides you guys fighting, there's a lot of other stuff going on as well too, and new people and new drama, and who dated whose ex and whose ex dated that
It's always
ex, and it's
juicy.
just
Charleston.
it really is crazy. Thursday nights,
Yes.
Bravo, 9 Eastern.
We are 8
8
We're the
Eastern.
lead-in.
Yeah.
We're the
You're
lead-in.
right, because
Yes.
now it's you and Hospitality.
Yep.
Right. And you can watch on Peacock too. That's where I watch.
Yeah.
the
Yes.
weekends.
Tune in 8 o'clock Southern Charm, 9 o'clock Southern Hospitality.
There you go.
What a double! It's a double whammy. Thursday nights in
Yes.
Charleston.
I mean, Charleston.
Yeah.
Who would have
Exactly.
thought that
Charleston's
a tiny
producing some of the
town-
best reality TV right now.
There you go.
Love it. All right.
Thanks,
you.
Austen.
Thanks, guys.
We're about to get into a great game of Beat Ria and Fran, and this segment is sponsored by Way. This is the way to a healthy scalp. You can get to the root of your healthy hair goals with Way's scalp care that will get your strands looking stronger, fuller, and healthier. Their hair and body products are made to be effortless and work for you and your routine. Absolutely love Way. You guys know it. I shout it from the rooftops. And with their scalp serum, it's absolutely amazing. You can use it morning or night, whatever you prefer. And my personal favorite product is the leave-in conditioner, which I've been using for years. This is the way to a healthy scalp. It starts here. Go to THEOUAI.com and use code CHICKS for 15% off any product. That's THEOUAI.com, code CHICKS. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another game of Beat Ria and Fran. We are joined by Robin and Kaley. And let me tell you, these two are some dedicated chicks in the office live show attendees. They've been to 3 shows. We know them by now. They're our friends by now. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. We're so pumped to be here. So
We
excited.
are super excited. You guys have a great
Seriously.
setup going on, and I love it.
Glad to have you guys on trivia for the first time.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Yes, it
Yeah, it
is.
has.
It has been.
Noah can confirm.
Yes, but we are ready to go if you guys are ready.
Yeah, let's do
We're
it.
ready.
Let's do it.
Awesome. All right, so it's 15 questions. If you get the question right, you get the point. If you get it wrong, the other team can steal the point. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. To determine who goes first, Noah is going to give us a movie. We're going to guess the Rotten Tomatoes critic score of that movie. Whoever is the closest will get to go first. We will alternate between teams. Everyone gets their own individual guess. Noah, what is today's movie?
Today's movie is Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Okay. All right, so one of you ladies guess first.
I'm going to go 53.
Maria?
I was going to guess 43, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to go 39.
Okay.
I'm going to go 28. Ooh, just for fun.
I'm going to say 60.
Second week in a row that Ria's one off. 38.
38,
Wow,
wow.
yay! My spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
On your game.
Yeah.
Question number 1 to Ria and Fran. Shout out to Sam from Montreal. In The Wizard of Oz, who did Dorothy say, "I think I'll miss you most of all" to?
There's only so many options, you know.
Scarecrow?
Was it the Scarecrow or was it a lion? Scarecrow?
Let's go
15
Scarecrow.
seconds.
Okay.
Scarecrow.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah.
Something about that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you wouldn't expect it because he's the Scarecrow,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, 1-0 Ria and Fran. Question number 2 to Robin and Kaley. Shout out Taylor from Indianapolis. What actor plays the bad guy in the movie Spy Kids?
Oh, I've seen this.
Well, it's not Flute Flubly, Alan Cummings,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's Flute Flubly. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
The traitors.
That's right. Then. All right. Final answer.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
Nice.
I just recently discovered this past week.
Oh, really?
I was like,
yeah, that is
whoa.
Yeah, that is him.
I
yeah.
didn't know he was an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great
I was like,
actor.
I thought he just did this.
How do you think
hosting
he
thing.
got this most coveted
my
role?
God, you thought he was just
No.
doing this?
No, and then
Let
I'm
me
like,
tell
I
you.
saw him. I'm like, wow, he's like a real actor.
Alan Cummings is.
Alan Cummings has my dream job right now
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
to
for
host Traders.
I mean, it's,
Sure. That would be
yeah.
the best.
Insane.
The best.
Okay, tied up at 1. Question number 3 to Ria and Fran. Shout out Matt from Marlboro. Demi Lovato made her Disney Channel debut as Charlotte Adams in what short show series?
This is us. As the bell rings.
As the bell rings. Yes, yes, yes.
As the
Yep.
bell rings.
Yep.
Correct.
ZYXW.
As the bell rings. Yep.
Okay, 2-1, Ria and Fran. Question number 4. Shout out Maria from Maine. And it's to Robin and Kaley. In All Too Well, the 10-minute version, Taylor's version, Taylor Swift mentions turning what age?
21.
Turning 21. Final answer.
Correct.
Nice.
Off to a hot
It's a
start.
nice little back and forth.
Yeah,
we got going. It's a
seriously.
nice game of tennis.
So there's like this challengers out here.
Yeah.
Okay, tied up at 2. Question number 5 to Ria and Fran. Shout out Eileen from Long Island. On Friends, how does Ross find out about Monica and Chandler's secret relationship?
Oh.
Isn't it
It's like
like
everybody else finds out.
yeah, it's like everyone because of Phoebe. It's Phoebe and Chandler.
Yeah.
I think it's because of
15
Phoebe and
seconds.
Chandler, like that whole scene. And he's like I'm going to go with
I don't
because of Phoebe and Chandler.
Incorrect.
So it sees him through the window at.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep. That's it. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because he's in the apartment across the street.
Right, right.
Correct.
Yep.
Damn.
All right.
Huge Friends people over here. Huge
Yeah.
Friends people.
Yeah.
3-2.
I want to go to the experience in New York City.
I did see people there this
Yeah.
weekend.
That's awesome.
3-2 Robin and Kaley. And this is question number 6 to them. Shout out Taylor from Indianapolis. In What a Girl Wants, what cereal does Amanda Bynes eat late at night with her dad?
Oh, I used to love this movie and I have not seen it in so long.
It's been ages. Like a sweet
Cocoa
cereal.
Puffs.
Fruit Loops, Cheerios. Should name cereals.
I know.
Lucky Charms.
Could be any of them.
Go with your gut.
Oh no.
15 seconds.
I'm gonna go Cocoa Puffs. Final answer.
Correct.
Wow.
Yep.
There you
Yeah.
go. That was
Yep.
you knew that. That was instinct right there.
I also love that movie. I think I've seen that. I watch that movie all the time.
I was just singing the Christina Aguilera song in my head the whole time.
Oh yeah. No.
Classic.
Yeah, Robin. Thank you.
Okay, 4-2, Robin and Kaley. This is question number 7 to Ria Fran. Shout out Sarah from Louisville, Kentucky. In SpongeBob SquarePants, what is the name of the vehicle that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy drive?
The
Something mobile?
It's invisible.
The Invisimobile?
What the fuck is it called? Is that what it's called?
The Invisimobile?
I don't know.
15 seconds.
I think let's go Invisimobile.
Okay.
Unless you have a different answer.
No, I don't.
All right,
At this
Invisimobile.
Incorrect.
Damn.
To Robin and Kaley.
You through mobile?
No, I don't know if it has to do with invisible. The Mermaid Mobile came to mind.
But he's my man.
I know.
What if it's invisible mobile instead of
This
Invisimobile?
doesn't sound right to me, but if you feel strongly about it.
I don't.
Okay.
10 seconds.
The Macho Mobile?
No. I think
Okay.
I want to go with my answer. If
Okay.
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Time
But
is up.
Mermaid Mobile, final answer.
Incorrect. It's the Invisible Boatmobile.
Invisible
Oh.
boatmobile, yeah. To the
Mobile.
invisible boatmobile. That's what they say, yeah.
Yeah.
Rolls off the
Shoot.
tongue.
Shoot.
All I knew was that thing was invisible.
I didn't know it could disappear. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, 4-2, Robin and Kaley still. Question number 8. Shout out Ashley. And this is to Robin and Kaley. Name this year. Game of Thrones premieres. Oprah's final TV episode airs. The final Harry Potter movie comes out.
It's around there for sure. God, I'm so bad at the years.
I know, me too. 2011? Oprah. Final Harry Potter movie.
That's what I'm holding on to.
15 seconds.
What was the first thing?
Game of Thrones premieres. Oprah's final TV episode. Final Harry Potter.
I like either 09 or 10.
10.
5 seconds.
2010, final answer.
Incorrect. To Ria Fran.
Is it
I
2011?
think it's 11.
Oh,
My gut's leaning 11.
I'm between 11 and 9, so.
What did they say? 2010? Part 2. Harry Potter Part 2?
Yeah, the final Harry Potter movie.
I think 11.
All right. 2011.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
oh. Little.
So close.
All right, 4-3, Robin and Kaley. And this is question number 9 to Ria and Fran. Shout out Taylor from Indianapolis. What actress is in these movies? What Happens in Vegas? The Dilemma? Hairspray?
I don't know what the dilemma is.
Yeah, me either.
What actor?
What actress?
Actress.
15 seconds.
What happens,
What happens
in Vegas?
I can only think of the
5 seconds.
I'm completely blanking.
I know.
All right, time is
Michelle Pfeiffer, final answer.
incorrect to Robin and Kaley.
What Happens in Vegas, I know, is Cameron Diaz and Ashton Kutcher.
Okay.
But I don't know what the dilemma is, and I haven't seen Hairspray in a really, really long time.
I was thinking like Jennifer Aniston, but that can't be right. And then I was thinking, who's in everything? Judy Greer. But no.
I was thinking, I would, if we need to just throw out a guess, I would want to go Cameron Diaz because I know for a fact she's in What Happens in Vegas, but it also could be one of the
10
like
seconds.
friends that's in a bunch of stuff, but I don't know.
Let's go Cameron Diaz.
Okay, Cameron Diaz, final answer.
Incorrect.
It's her friend, but what's her friend's name?
No,
I don't
Queen
know.
Latifah.
Oh.
The Dilemma is Vince Vaughn and Kevin James. And
Queen Latifah. Oh my God, she plays their therapist.
Oh,
Yeah, and what happens in Vegas.
Oh,
I
right?
haven't seen
That
that
was
movie in a long
therapist.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the therapist or like the legal.
In my mind, I was going through Hairspray, and I got to Queen Latifah, and I was like, she's not in What Happens in Vegas.
Yeah. All right.
Shoot.
Does she play the judge in What Happens in Vegas?
No, it's like the person who decides if
Oh.
she can keep the money.
Like the divorce attorney.
You're right. She's the judge.
Is it the judge or like the attorney?
She's the judge.
Like, she decides if they have like.
Annulment?
per-
Yeah, the
Help-
person who makes the
Annulment?
decisions is the judge.
But I feel
She's
like
not the lawyer.
But she was like meeting with them in like rooms every week.
Well, wasn't she like a mediator, maybe?
Yeah.
I think she was a judge. I feel like I see her sitting behind the thing in
She
the
was
court.
a marriage counselor.
Marriage
Marriage
counselor.
counselor.
For the first time ever, the Challenge All-Stars is coming exclusively to MTV, but this time with a major twist. 13 All-Star pairs of rivals will need to work together to win together in MTV's The Challenge All-Stars Rivals. That's right. 13 of the bitterest All-Star pairs of rivalries in Challenge history are going to have to get along together if they want to win the title of All-Stars champion. We're talking exes, frenemies, and all-time worst enemies partnering up, including Challenge favorites Nani and Turbo, Anissa and Ashley M, Leroy and Devin. I personally cannot believe like we're seeing Nani and Turbo have to work with each other again, because that has not gone well. Anissa and Ashley, it's going to be great TV. No other season has so much tension, drama, or bad blood. This might just be the most challenging All-Star season yet. You think you can make it work with your worst enemy? Don't miss MTV's The Challenge All-Stars Rivals. All new Wednesday at 8/7 Central on MTV.
Okay. 4-3, still Robin and Kaley, and this is question number 10 to Robin and Kaley. I'm gonna play a movie clip, and you tell me what movie it's from.
Don't try anything. I'm gonna kill myself, so don't try to stop me.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
No, I don't mean okay. Just give me a second. I should say something to you here. Don't really know what it is.
Man, you're terrible at this. Are you even a cop?
Hold on a second, I'm thinking.
Right? Isn't it Yes Man?
That seems like it could be.
Jim Carrey, he's on the ledge, and then they start singing that song. I wish you could step back from that ledge, my friend.
I feel like you know this well. I'll with you.
But is that the Jim Carrey movie that I'm thinking of?
I don't know. I trust you though.
Okay, Yes Man, final answer.
Correct. Nice.
I've seen that movie way too much.
I used to always watch that movie. I don't know why.
Love that movie.
Okay, 5-3, Robin and Kaley, and this is question number 11 to Ria and Fran. Shout out Michaela from Newton, Massachusetts. In the movie Stick It, Haley's teammate Mena gets points deducted from her near-perfect routine for an unfair reason, resulting in all the gymnasts to rebel against the judges. What was the reason for her points being deducted?
Bra
The
strap.
bra strap.
Bra strap sticking out. Final answer.
Correct. Okay, 5-4, Robin and Kaley, and this is question number 12 to them. Shout out Lindsay from Cork, Ireland. In Gilmore Girls, how many yellow daisies does Max propose to Lorelai with? Lorelai.
Is it 1,000?
This is all you.
It fills up the whole Dragonfly Inn, like,
Well,
foyer.
then 1,000 sounds good.
Or was it the Firefly Inn at the time? I think it's 1,000.
Okay.
Yep, 1,000. Final answer.
Correct.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
He tried.
All right, 6-4, Robin and Kaley. Question number 13 to Ria and Fran. Shout out Samantha and Taylor from Arlington, Virginia. One Direction was formed in 2010 on the X Factor UK. Which pop star was the deciding vote on Niall making it through to boot camp?
I thought this was going to be a different question. Is it Nicole? Because like she's the one.
Yeah,
Nicole Scherzinger.
sure.
Yeah. Final answer.
Incorrect.
Oh, that's the other
Damn.
one.
I don't know.
To Robin and Kaley.
Paul Abdul or something? Is she on that?
No. What about? It's not. Mel B.
I don't know. Was she on that?
She was on X Factor at one time as a judge.
Okay,
That would be my guess.
let's do it.
Mel B. Final answer.
Incorrect. Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Mm. Damn. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He was on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Dang it.
2 questions left, and Robin and Kaley are up 6-4. So question number 14. To them, shout out Taylor from Indianapolis. In the movie Knocked Up, what is Katherine Heigl's character's job?
she's a television anchor, like a pop culture television anchor. Like she'll be like on the red carpet.
Like E-News kind of vibe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Final answer.
Correct.
Nice.
I don't know if I would have given that to you if you didn't say E-News at the end, because it was specifically E-News.
Yeah, it is.
I got that.
Yep.
That's a victory
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
I was gonna
Damn, you
say,
guys killed that.
Crushed us.
That was a good back and forth
Yeah.
for just a little bit until you guys pulled away there.
But we'll do the final
Yeah, we'll
one.
do one last question.
Question number 15 to Ria Fran. Shout out Elizabeth from St. Louis. What was Countess Luann from The Real Housewives of New York's debut single?
Money can't buy you class.
Was that her first one? Yeah, it has to be.
I feel like it has to
Yeah.
be, no? All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
7-5.
Damn,
Final score.
close
one.
game.
Close
Close
one.
game. Congrats, guys. That was awesome.
Gosh, sometimes the Friends questions really, we should be better at those.
We should be,
We
but
like
you know,
really should be better the amount that we don't get right.
right. It is. It's like, and then when you know them, you know them, but when you don't, it's like
Yeah.
tough. It's easy to switch up.
I think
But-
that was like a pretty easy one too.
right for sure.
Like,
For sure.
Well,
lot
you
of people.
you were totally on the right track with the
No,
PB.
no,
Yeah,
the
right.
thing, I mean, the whole.
Yeah.
that
We're
was-
missing the timeline.
It's a
It's okay.
confusing
You guys
situation.
don't have to
You
make us
guys-
feel better.
no, you don't.
Amazing game.
Very deserved
Well
win.
done. Well done.
Very
well
great
done.
game, guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much for playing. It was so great seeing you guys
Yes,
again.
seriously.
And you guys get shirts that say you beat us. So congratulations. Noah will be in
Yes.
contact with you guys to send that over.
We expect to see you at the next show wearing the t-shirt.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. Exactly. Thank you guys so much. Bye, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We love you guys so very much. We hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.